kids! We get to read a story today that I have loved ever since I was little. It's called A Weekend with Wendell. Can you say that? A Weekend with Wendell. This is a story about a little mouse named Wendell who's kind of mean to his cousin Sophie and what she does at the end of the story so that they can finally start being friends and getting along. We'll read this in just a minute. But first, I want to remind you about two of my friendship bugs that I absolutely love. The first one, you might remember, was kind of mean. His name is Bully. Do you remember that? His name is Bully. Yeah, Bully is my bug who's kind of mean to all the other bugs and all the other kids. So I'll give you a couple of examples. If he was sitting behind you on the rug, he might reach forward and pinch you just because he could. Maybe he would think it was funny, maybe he would think it was mean, but he does not keep his hands and his feet to himself. If he had a library book that needed returned to the library, he might tell you, "Hey, take my book back to the library." He wouldn't ask nicely, he just makes demands and tells people what to do. If he were at the coloring table and you had a marker that he wanted, he wouldn't ask nicely if he could use it. He would say, "Hey, give me that marker, it's my turn." And if you didn't give it to him, he would just reach over and take it. Bully is the one who does not have very many friends because he's so mean to all the kids and all the bugs, and everyone is kind of scared of him. In fact, let's put him away and take out the bug that everybody loves. Her name was Befriender. Can you say it? Her name is Befriender. Yeah, Befriender is my bug who is so kind to all the bugs and all the kids. If she were sitting behind you on the rug, she would never pinch you because she keeps her hands to herself. She would just keep them in her lap. If she had a library book that needed taken back to the library, she wouldn't tell you that you had to take it back for her. She would take it back herself. Or she might even ask you, "Do you want to come with me to return my book?" Because she likes to do things with the other bugs and kids. If she were at the coloring table and you had a marker that she wanted, she would ask politely, "Can I use that marker when you're done?" She doesn't just make demands of people and try to scare them. Everybody loves to be friends with Befriender because she's always kind. So let's read A Weekend with Wendell. And I want you to notice how Wendell is kind of a bully. He's kind of mean to Sophie. And notice what Sophie does at the end to be a befriender so that they can finally start getting along. On Friday afternoon, Wendell's parents dropped him off at Sophie's house. This is Sophie. You can see she's hiding behind her mom. She's a little bit nervous about Wendell visiting. "Wendell's going to spend the weekend with us," said Sophie's mother, "while his parents visit relatives out of town." "Oh boy," said Wendell. Sophie didn't say anything. She's just kind of nervous. Can you just not say anything like you're kind of nervous? Ready? Good. After a snack, Sophie helped Wendell carry his sleeping bag and suitcase upstairs. And I want you to notice she's carrying everything. Wendell isn't carrying anything. "Well, what are we going to do now?" asked Wendell. "Do you have any toys?" Sophie pointed to her toy chest. "Is that all you've got?" said Wendell. "I've got 1,000,000 times more than that. What else is there to do around here?" "We could play house," said Sophie. "Only if I can make the rules," said Wendell. Uh-oh, which sounds like the beginning of bullying because he's saying, "I'll only play with you if you do it my way, if I get to make the rules." So they played house and Wendell made the rules. He was the father, the mother, and the 5 children. Sophie was the dog. She just had to sit there. Then they played hospital. Wendell was the doctor, the nurse, and the patient. Sophie was the desk clerk. She just had to sit there as people came in. He got to do all the fun jobs. When they pretended they worked in a bakery, Wendell was the baker and Sophie was a sweet roll. Oh, she just had to sit in the corner pretending she was a sweet roll. "Isn't this fun?" said Wendell. Sophie didn't say anything because I think she's thinking, No way this isn't fun. I had to be a dog and a desk clerk and now a sweet roll. I don't get to do any of the fun jobs. At dinner, Wendell said that he was allergic to anything green, so he didn't have to eat his vegetables. And then, when Sophie wasn't looking, he scooped the whipped cream off her dessert. He just took what he wanted without even asking. That sounds like a bully. When is Wendell leaving? Whispered Sophie. Soon, said her mother. Soon, said her father. I think they don't like how he's acting toward Sophie either. After Sophie's parents tucked Sophie in her bed, zipped Wendell in his sleeping bag, kissed them both, and turned off the light, Wendell grabbed his flashlight and shone it right in Sophie's eyes. See you tomorrow, he said, smiling. Can you do it like him? Ready? See you tomorrow. Good. Sophie shut her eyes. I can't wait for Wendell to go home, she said to herself. Can you do it like her? Pretend like you're kind of upset and say, I can't wait for Wendell to go home. Ready? I can't wait for Wendell to go home. Good. On Saturday morning, when Sophie woke up, there was a lumpy blue monster jumping up and down on her bed. It was Wendell. She felt something pinch her leg at breakfast. It was Wendell. She heard scary noises coming from the broom closet. It was Wendell. You knew it. Look, he's saying, grrr, woo, and she's running away saying, eek. Can you do that like her? Ready? Eek. Good. Wendell used Sophie's crayons and left them on the porch so they melted. Oh no. All her crayons are now melted on the porch. At lunch, Wendell finger painted with his peanut butter and jelly, and you can see that he did it on the white tablecloth, which makes a huge mess. Isn't this fun? Said Wendell. Sophie didn't say anything. When is Wendell leaving? Whispered Sophie. Soon, said her mother. Soon, said her father. At bedtime, when Sophie put her head on her pillow, she heard something crunch. It was a note. It said, see you tomorrow. Sophie shut her eyes. I can't wait for Wendell to go home, she said to herself. And look, this is a note from Wendell where he wrote, see you tomorrow. And you can see he drew himself with fangs, and he's chasing Sophie, and she's screaming, and he's laughing. Ha 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 ha. Can you do that like him? Ready? Ha 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 ha. Good. He thinks it's funny to make her scared. Before Wendell's parents picked him up on Sunday morning, he tried to make a long-distance call. He's saying, is this the North Pole? He wrote his name on the bathroom mirror with toothpaste. Did you hear that? He wrote it with toothpaste, which is so messy. And he gave Sophie a new hairdo with shaving cream. Oh no, he put shaving cream all over her head. Want to go outside and help me wash this off? Asked Sophie. We could play firefighter. Oh boy, said Wendell. Uh-oh, but watch what Sophie does. So they played firefighter, and Sophie made the rules. She was the fire chief. Wendell was the burning building. So he wasn't expecting this, but since he was the burning building, look, Sophie just started spraying him with water, and he's totally surprised, like, bah! Can you do that like him? Ready? Bah! Good. Isn't this fun? Said Sophie. Wendell didn't say anything. This time he's the one who's quiet. Do I get to be the fire chief? Asked Wendell, because of course now he's really cold and wet. Maybe, said Sophie. But you're going to see Sophie is a befriender. She wants to be nice to Wendell, so watch what she does. Soon Wendell and Sophie didn't care who was the fire chief or who was the burning building. She holds the hose out to him and says, like, okay, let's take turns. And now they're both dancing under the water, having so much fun together. Time to go, said Sophie's mother. Time to go, said Sophie's father. Already? Said Wendell. Already? Said Sophie, because they've realized they actually do have a lot of fun together when they just play nicely together. When is Wendell coming back? Asked Sophie. Never, said her mother. Never, said her father. I don't think they liked all the messes that Wendell made. That afternoon, when Wendell unpacked his suitcase, he heard something crunch. It was a note from Sophie. It said, I hope I see you soon. Can you say it like her? I hope I see you soon. You got it. And he's kind of smiling because he's realized, actually, I think I like being friends with Sophie. I don't like being a bully. And if you look at the back cover, this is what the note looks like. I hope I see you soon. And it shows them just playing together, holding hands, getting along. I hope that we remember from this story that it's always better to be befriender and not a bully. We have lots more friends and lots more fun when we act like befriender. Good listening today. See you next time. Bye.